thank you today for joining us for our Faith Family Freedom broadcast. Whether you might be seeing it on Spotify or Foundation's podcast or the numerous television stations that run from coast to coast, plus YouTube, we are so happy that you have joined us. Our goal, our thrust, is that we want to speak truth to everyone. We want to be Christian patriots, stand for the faith of our fathers, for traditional family unit, and for the freedoms that we have been given by the divine creator. So said the founding fathers, even in the Declaration of Independence. Just recently, the Virginia Senator Tim Kaine made some assertions that he felt that our laws came from other laws, that he did not recognize the laws that's coming from or emanating from the divine creator. Fortunately, Senator Ted Cruz of Texas took this on in a very vehement way, like a stealth bomb on a sitting target. Senator Cruz reminded Tim Kaine that in the Declaration of Independence, second paragraph, Thomas Jefferson and these acknowledged that our unalienable rights were given to us by a divine creator, and that since they were given to us by God, government had no part in giving us these rights. If the government gave the rights, government would take them away. But they're unalienable. That means we were born with these rights. That's the meaning of the word. Further, in the Constitutional Convention, document was ratified September the 17th, 1787. Writers said that this was done in the year of our Lord, September the 17th, 1787. There are so many places that we could reverence that give credibility to the fact that God gave us our rights. Kennedy, a Democrat, said, "Our rights didn't come from the generosity of the state. They came from the hand of God." Harry Truman said our rights were given to us by the Creator, that they came from Mount Sinai, that if we ever forgot that, we would become a totalitarian state with no rights except for the state. Woodrow Wilson said our nation was born as a Christian nation. So we have insurmountable proof that our rights are God-given. God gave us these rights. When we were created, we were born with them. And for the Senator from Virginia, Tim Kaine, who obviously must be an ultra-liberal libtard, Rush Limbaugh would have described him, is saying things that are absolutely not true. The laws didn't come from another law. Even our Declaration of Independence is recognized as common law. In the final paragraph of that document, the writer said, with a firm reliance upon the divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
In his new book, It's Always a Struggle, But, my dear friend Andrew Phipps delivers his life story straight from the heart. with a fascinating journey of faith, hope, and inspiration, even during the hard times. Andrew shares great stories from some of life's hardest lessons. Adding his own personal homespun humor and God-given wisdom, he encourages us to live life with a servant's heart. It's a great read that will have you inspired and give you an understanding of Andrew's journey as he shares personal stories of his family, his Christian faith, his great love of country, and how the transforming power of God changed the course of his life. It's often said that life gives the test first and the lesson later. Andrew makes an honest effort to help us by sharing his life experiences with humbleness, sincere candor, and his faith in God. We all have been there, those days when life is a struggle. I hope you will enjoy Andrew Phipps' new book, It's Always a Struggle But. I highly recommend it.
To place your order for It's Always a Struggle But, simply visit Andrew's website at Phipps-Faith-Family-Freedom.org. Order your copy today.
And friends, I want to comment today about President Donald Trump's taking aggressive measures to bring peace back to Washington, D.C., and hopefully other cities as well. The crime reduction since the President Trump has taken hold has gone down dramatically. And for Democrats to assert that the president is doing something that's contrary to the betterment of the people of America, that is ludicrous. We should feel safe to travel and visit our nation's capital. It ought to be a clean place. It ought to be a place where you could go and not feel threatened that you might be mugged or killed or have your wallet or a lady have her purse snatched from her. It ought to be a place where we could go and have safety. And I think we have seen what has happened. The statistics give every momentum to the fact the president is doing things correctly, and we applaud him for it. And as a side note, for the governor of Illinois and the mayor there to basically say we don't want any help, that is further ridiculous. In Chicago, I have been told that in the last 10 years, there have been 7,000 crimes committed there. 80% of them are committed by Black people, and they are committed upon other Black citizens. And to not feel safe, that would be an understatement. Can you imagine driving on the south side of Chicago and you happen to have car trouble or stop or whatever? I think it's time for the president to send in the National Guard and help to bring stability and reduce the crime there. It's ridiculous. I mean, every weekend we hear of 7 or 8 murders. We hear of car thefts. We hear of hijackings. We hear of people being threatened, and whether it's in the marketplace or just wherever. And for the Democrats there to actually stay with a straight face that they're okay with the crime, what a nefarious assault upon the common sense of only Chicagoans, but the American people as a whole. I hope that President Trump follows through. The citizens need that help. We need stability and peace. We need less crime. We need killings. And if there was ever a city that needed it, Chicago does. And they have some of the most strict gun laws in the country. And for the politicians to assert that it's the fault of the gun, that is further ludicrous. It's like saying that if you have a car wreck, it's the fault of the car. The liberals always want to target the thing and not the individual. And to say that the guns are coming in from red states, that also is not true. It's proven that most of the gun purchases are being made in the state of Illinois. So the politicians ought to back up and tell the American people that they're wrong and that they applaud what President Trump is going to do and will do. And I thank our president for doing it. And this is Andrew Phipps. Hello, friends. This is Andrew Phipps, and I believe that we need all of the materials that we can gather to help us as we combat the attack upon our faith, our family, and our freedoms. We need to be educated, and I have a handbook that has been given to state legislatures. It's been given to members of Congress. It's a colorfully created handbook that has graphs, charts, quotes, and different things in it. You'll be impressed with it. And also we have DVDs. We have CDs that are God and Country, Return to Greatness, and Faith, Family, and Freedom, some other wonderful materials. See the contact information on the screen. Be sure that you order some because these will be of a tremendous help. They are supplemental materials to help you in your Christian walk. And may God bless. Hello, friends. This is Andrew Phipps with Phipps-Faith-Family-Freedom, and we're so happy that you have joined us today. Let me give you a good announcement. We are now being broadcast on Spotify podcast, and we hope that you'll find us there. We want to have a lot of very interesting guests. We have had some super guests on our podcast heretofore, and we're looking forward to having people from all walks of life that we think can help us and bring something positive to the narrative of faith, family, and freedom. Look for us on Spotify. This is Andrew Phipps. One of the essential ingredients put into the format of our programs, I guess about every week, is a good song. We like to go to some of the gospel artists, many of yesteryear, and present them. I think the viewers and you overwhelmingly approve of it. You like it, and for that we're grateful. Today we're going to step back and enjoy another great song by this wonderful group. I know you will enjoy it.
For spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesty above the fruited plain. America, God shed His grace on thee. the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He's trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He's loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on.
In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea. With the glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us live to make men free. While God is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. His truth is marching on. For the land of the free, America, America. God bless America.
Aren't you thankful tonight to be an American? Praise his name.
In his new book, It's Always a Struggle, But, my dear friend Andrew Phipps delivers his life story straight from the heart, with a fascinating journey of faith, hope, and inspiration, even during the hard times. Andrew shares great stories from some of life's hardest lessons. Adding his own personal homespun humor and God-given wisdom, he encourages us to live life with a servant's heart. It's a great read that will have you inspired and give you an understanding of Andrew's journey as he shares personal stories of his family, his Christian faith, his great love of country, and how the transforming power of God changed the course of his life. It's often said that life gives the test first and the lesson later. Andrew makes an honest effort to help us by sharing his life experiences with humbleness, sincere candor, and his faith in God. We all have been there, those days when life is a struggle. I hope you will enjoy Andrew Phipps' new book, It's Always a Struggle, But. I highly recommend it.
To place your order for It's Always a Struggle But, simply visit Andrew's website at Phipps-Faith-Family-Freedom.org. Order your copy today.
Friends, this is Andrew Phipps, and Over the years, I was privileged to do a handbook titled Faith-Family-Freedom. You know, America was birthed in freedom. We believe that our history of our development as a nation needs to be promulgated and promoted. This handbook has been made available to members of Congress, governors. It has been made available for state legislatures. It has been purchased at places by churches for the congregants. I think that you would really enjoy this Faith Family Freedom Handbook. It has the major features of the American system. It has quotations galore. The pictorial quality is just beyond belief. And the content, I think, if you've ever thought about your faith, your family, your freedom, I think that you would like to have this handbook that is so titled. I think that the information provided will challenge, enlighten, inspire each one of us to be great citizens. You know, our faith is a treasured heritage, not a contemporary experiment. And this is Andrew Phipps. Phipps here, and I know it may sound trite, it may sound just simplistic, but I truly believe that this is the greatest country in the world. I think if a person does succeed here, I know no other place that you could go that would enhance your chances or your opportunities. I know it gave me an opportunity to do something. Our family, we were considered poor people. We didn't have money. As I've said many times, maybe had a third grade education, but I've been privileged to be able to get a master's degree from Ball State University. I've been able to travel, been able to meet a lot of wonderful people. And so I'm thankful for that. I think it was Raphael Cruz when he gave a statement about coming from Cuba with $100 latched to his underwear, not able to speak much English. And he said he knew that if we came to America, he would have some opportunities. And he further said, if we don't succeed and make it as a constitutional republic, a democracy that allows people to participate in the republic, if we don't make it here, where do next? Where is the next place? When I see Kim Jong-un there in North Carolina, living so they say with palaces and everything right at his disposal, and the average Chinese citizen subsisting on some kind of a rice diet, I think, my, what would it be like where you live in a society that if you go to sleep during a speech that he's giving, that you may be executed, that if you don't do everything that enhances and makes him like a god, you'll be held accountable. And I thought to live in that kind of bondage, to make a god out of a human being who is ruling by force, the election must confirm that he is the leader, because to do as you would do it at your own peril. I know of no other place in the world where at least we have the freedoms to speak out and say things. Just recently, I saw where a candidate running for prime minister in Great Britain is trying to get their freedoms of speech back there, that it becomes hate speech if you say something about another religion, although it may be true, although you can prove it. That's not the thing. Speech is being censored in some of those places. Other places, if you say anything about the aggressive LGBTQ lifestyle, then you could face the courts, or you could face indictments, or be held accountable for what you say, even though it's your belief. We don't have to be hateful in what we say, but we should have the right to say it. We ought to be polite. We ought to be kind. We need not be aggressive or obnoxious, but we must have the right in the public square, first of all, to acknowledge God, to have peaceable protests, to have the rights of press, and obviously free speech, where the freedom of religion is the first enumerated right in Amendment 1 of the Constitution, added in 1791. And we must stand as patriots at all costs for our great heritage here as free Americans. And this is Andrew Phipps. Hello, friends. This is Andrew Phipps, and I believe that we need all of the materials that we can gather to help us as we combat the attack upon our faith, our family, and our freedoms. We need to be educated, and I have a handbook that has been given to state legislatures. It's been given to members of Congress. It's a colorfully created handbook that has graphs, charts, quotes, and different things in it. You'll be impressed with it. And also we have DVDs, we have CDs that are God and Country, Return to Greatness, and Faith, Family, and Freedom, some other wonderful materials. See the contact information on the screen. Be sure that you order some, because these will be of a tremendous help. They are supplemental materials to help you in your Christian walk. And may God bless.